Hello and welcome to this episode of T-Tech. On today's episode, we're going to look at logging packets using BSD. I do hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to this episode of T-Tech. Today's episode is going to deal with logging packets with BSD. So this will work across OpenBSD, FreeBSD, NetBSD, okay? Any of the main ones. And how it does it is it uses something called pflog, okay? As long as you're using the pf firewall, the packet filter. What we got here is the pflog 0 here. That is the interface that can be given the log information about a packet. So essentially to explain this basically, if I ping, let's go over to FreeBSD and run tcpdump and to not resolve DNS names for the interface em0. Oh, actually, we're also going to disable the firewall to begin with, and then run that. And if I ping 1.2, that is the IP address here, and we have the packets coming in. But the thing is, the packets are not being logged. Those are just in real time. So there's really quite a few ways to do this. One way to log packets, and most of this applies to BSD, to OpenBSD or FreeBSD. We can use the NI em0, the W, and like capture or something, and hit enter on that. And now when we ping and come back over here, nothing came out on the screen, but if we do tcpdump -r for read, and look at that file capture, there's our 4 packets that we got off the interface. Now, well, what does this mean though? It looks like we already logged packets, right? Well, we did. But the thing is, when you use tcpdump, you're logging everything on the BPF interface, okay? And that means you're going to get a lot of noise, and not necessarily what you want to look at. Now, you can filter them. Like, if I look at, let's go back over here real quick. If I use nping, and let's say on port 80, try to start a connection to our other machine here, and I want to do that same capture. Let's remove that file. There we go. If I send this, it's getting reset acknowledgements because the port is closed and TCP on this host is doing what it should. If we close the file, actually, let's close the file. If we read, I apologize, I actually wanted to do that again, but do run that, and what I meant to do, my apologies, is send those packets over to port 80, and then I'm going to send some pings. Alright, okay. This is what I mean about the granularity of it. If I read this file, I get the packets going to port 80, and I get the ICP echo requests. But if I want to, I can filter by TCP port 80. You actually have to, I apologize, give it the file first. And then it will only pull out the port 80 traffic. We can also filter on the IP addresses as well, or ICMP, and we can also filter the different types. You can only pull that out of the file. The thing is though, if it's a really busy system, servers, firewalls, whatever, you can get a lot of data in that file very quickly, and it can be very hard to sort through and analyze it for what you're looking for in the network. So, I mean, there's packages for this. There's intop and other things like that, but this is the, nuts and bolts way of doing it to really understand it. And what we're going to do with FreeBSD, oh, real quick, let's discuss with the PF interface how I said pflog. In FreeBSD, you have to add pflog_enable equals yes to rc.conf. Okay? With OpenBSD, it just has a default config where it's on there. Now, we want to go into add cpfconf, and what we're going to talk about is how to log packets that match specific rules. So, if we want to log all block traffic and run it like that, and then reload our rules, which in this case is what I meant about them being similar. I'm not going to do this on both, just on one. But we have our rule set that logs the blocked packets. The cool thing is we have two ways of looking at it. We can use BPF to look at pflog in real time, and we can send pings. Now notice what's happening. They're not being blocked. Apologies, I just forgot to enable it. Alright, and those are coming up, but only the traffic that's being blocked, not any other traffic. So we can see that in real time and filter on it in real time. But you can also use the same method with tcpdump to look at verilog pflog. See all that? Got a bunch of that here. But if I also look at inping again and send some packets, I actually did allow port 80. Let's actually do a different one today. Let's do 23 for telnet. And this is why block is important. It doesn't send a response, and you have just the SYN packets. And now if I want to look, I can look through the entire file just like I did. But I get all the traffic. If I want to look just for the telnet, do TCP port 23, it pulls them out. Okay, the main point that I want to finish on, I can also use my firewall rules set, and instead of logging this traffic, I could log both as well. I can say log 80 traffic to a service I'm running. Okay, so if we reload that, and we want to make sure that it's enabled. Okay, it is. If we run this, and now it's logged for that port. And what we want to do is if we use 23, there's no output. That's because packets on that port are not being allowed through. Okay, it didn't match a block rule because we didn't set log on that rule. That blocks them, and it didn't match the pass rule because there's no pass rule for that port number. But if we use 80, we'll see that, and more importantly, only that. So you can use this for debugging. You could also incorporate this into a Python program, into shell scripting with bash or something, to create a very small kind of IDS type system or something where you may want to send alerts or something. And there is systems for that, like I said already. But, in specific circumstances, this is very, very valuable to do. So, with that, and as I said about the file, again, you can look through that file and filter that file. But this time you SYN packets. Okay? And again, it usually only logs the first packet that started the connection. So with all that, that was a look at how we use BSD to log packets. Again, look at the respective websites for OpenBSD and FreeBSD and all that. And there's lots more information about this there. And with all that, I'm Tyler with tTech. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day.